Get comfy and get cozy. It's spooky story time. This story was sent in by one of my followers named Nicole. She asked to share with y'all, so give her a follow down below. It says, my name is Nicole. I was born and raised in Laredo, Texas. I have a Mexican father and an Arab mother. My father's mother, which is my grandmother, was a witch. Her and her family and my father's father, which is my grandpa, they're all witches from Mexico. When my grandpa and grandmother were building their home in Laredo, Texas, my father's aunt told my grandmother, here are some coins to bless the home. But those coins weren't to bless the home. It was witchcraft. Okay, fast forward to when my parents meet. My mother said in the beginning, strange things would happen in my grandmother's home, like noises, shadows, whispering, crazy things no one would believe, to the point where she saw a girl in a long white gown. She said while her and my father were arguing, she went downstairs and sat on the couch. As she was sitting there crying, a young girl walked in front of her in a white long gown. She also told me one time my uncle found a voodoo doll in my grandmother's home. While he was renovating the cabinets, he found the doll with a cloth of my grandfather's shirt sewn on it. Him and my mother were shocked, so they told my grandmother, and my grandmother said it must have been Maite, which is my father's aunt. But my mom didn't believe that, because if my father's aunt wanted to do witchcraft, she would have kept it at her home, like she always has done. So my mother was suspicious of my grandmother, because my grandmother would always say, I wish Raul would be unalived already. She would say it constantly, wishing on his death. So it actually happened. My grandmother and father are the most despicable people ever. Oh gosh, that whole family is evil, pure evil. Okay, so fast forward. My father's aunt always wanted my grandpa unalived because he had lands and wealth in Mexico. She ended up being unalived by her own husband. He turned up the thermostat and unalived her. I believe she had pulmonary disease. Then he unalived himself right after, with her. He turned up the gas for himself. They ended up finding them weeks later, with worms eating them. My mother said it was the nastiest thing ever. Oh my gosh, Nicole. This story is truly fucking scary. Thank you for sharing that with me. Nicole did send me another story I'll be posting soon, and she said she would be updating me with some more scary stories about her family, which now have me very intrigued. If you love true scary stories, give me a follow. And if you have one that you want to share, I would love to hear it.
I need to tell you this ghost story. These are 3 ghost stories you're not going to want to read alone. 284 Green Street, London is a home that has inspired many famous books and movies. It all started one day with knocking on the walls that would then progress to an 18-month-long snowball of paranormal activity. The family who lived in the home would say that furniture would fly across the floors, you could hear disembodied voices, the children who lived there would be levitated in midair momentarily, and even spontaneous combustion. This home even attracted a very famous ghost hunting couple, and all the things that happened there are really hard to doubt considering all of the photographic, eyewitness, and recorded evidence. This next story comes from a woman who's lived in a haunted house for over a decade. When she lived there as a child, strange things would happen. Her bed would shake while she was asleep. Her dog hated being in her bedroom. One night, she even saw a man standing in the middle of her hallway. And as an adult, when she moved her and her daughter into the same house, her daughter's toys would start to play on their own. This next story comes from a family who moved in and out of their haunted house in record time. On their first night in the new home, the wife saw a man standing in their doorway staring at them while they slept. Really strange and funny things would happen with their lights and their TVs. The final straw for them was when they noticed that their only son started playing with something that they couldn't see. I hated reading every single one of these, and I hope you do too.
Well, I was just walking in the cornfields, minding my own business. Typical Friday night in Indiana. Thought I was all by myself, but apparently I was not. I'm talking quietly because I'm a little frightened. This is happening. I'm gonna get closer. They're not even acknowledging my presence. And I don't really have any friends. I kind of wanted to do something fun tonight because it is a Friday, so I'm just gonna see what's going on. It's so weird. There's so many weird things happening out here all the time. You really never know. What? Here, I'll show you guys a better angle. Pretty night. Well, I guess I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit with my new friends, and yeah. So I hope you guys are having a good night too.
Want to hear something spooky? These spooky stories were sent to me by my follower named Kim. Kim says, in 2023, we lost our house and everything in it. We ended up moving in with my mom's stepdad, grandma, and aunt, his mom's oldest sister. It's a 7-bedroom house with an upstairs. There are 4 small bedrooms upstairs. There's a storage room, an office, his aunt's room next to the storage room, and our bedroom across the hall. We've now been living here for almost 3 years. Next month will make it official, and we moved in shortly after my husband's grandfather passed away. His aunt first told me that when she first moved here in 2021, she was up in her bedroom and heard her brother calling her name. She thought he had come over to visit and went downstairs and asked everyone, "Where's Junior?" They told her that they thought he was at his own house, and she said, "No, I just heard him say, 'Hey, Lynn.'" But no one had been calling her name. Later, she told me she has also heard a woman talking and has seen the bathroom lights flicker. Fast forward to when my daughter, my husband, and I got settled in, one morning I woke up to hearing my name be called, "Hey, Kim." I walked out onto the landing and no one was there. I've heard my name be called several times also while cleaning. The downstairs hallway at night is very dark and creepy, and it always feels like someone is watching you. My husband's mom keeps a shelf in the hallway with bowls and Tupperware, and on top of it is a mirror. A few times my daughter and I have seen figures in the mirror, and it really creeps us out. Recently, for the past 2 weeks, every other day, my aunt has asked me if I've been calling her name. She's also been hearing people knock on her door at night, but it's when everyone's asleep. When you're home alone, the lights will start blinking and it literally feels like you're being watched. The living room is unsettling both day and night, but especially at night, and everyone gets bad vibes from the storage room. My husband's stepdad's parents used to live in the house. His mom has since passed away, but she used to live in the trailer next door as well, and she would come over and cook meals for her son and their family. Sometimes you can even still smell food cooking even when no one's cooking, and multiple times while I've been taking a bath, I've heard a woman's voice. I've also heard voices while running a bath, especially at night. Sometimes we hear coughing and walking up the stairs even when no one is actually there. The summer before last, his aunt went to visit family in another state. She smokes a lot and has a very distinct cough, and yet while she was hundreds of miles away, I could still hear her coughing from time to time and opening her bedroom door. This story happened to Kim when she was younger. She says that when she was 11, her mom, her sister, and her sister's boyfriend were watching a movie. She said she got sleepy and wanted her mom to go to bed with her. Her mom wasn't ready for bed yet, and they did share a bedroom at the time. Kim went on to bed, turned on the lamp, and got on her mom's side of the bed. She said she was terrified of the dark, but she eventually fell asleep. She said, "After falling asleep, I was jolted awake by an extremely cold hand squeezing my right shoulder. My eyes popped open when I realized no one was there. I was so creeped out, I crawled across to my side of the bed and ran down the hallway to where everyone else was. I told my mom what happened, but she brushed it off because she didn't know what to think about it and finally came to bed with me. Thankfully, it's never happened again, but that is now one of my core memories from childhood. I used to see shadow figures a lot when I was younger, and things got even creepier when my oldest brother passed away. Around that time, my mom had a friend living with us who was obsessed with death and was even into devil worshipping stuff. I'm sure that didn't help matters, but that's a story for another day." Thank you so much, Kim, for sending me your stories. I loved reading them. I thought they were very spooky. And if anybody else has any stories they want me to read, just send them to me on here. But stay spooky and stay creepy and come back for more.
I need to tell you this ghost story. The woman in our home. This one's one of my favorites. Now, the user starts off by saying that they grew up in a really old house until about the age of 8. Now, the house was old. By now, it's probably been standing for well over 100 years. But the house looked like it came out of a postcard. It was beautiful. Big white house, beautiful green shutters, a large plum tree in the yard, and it was all wrapped up with a white picket fence. This is my literal dream. I want to live in a really old house. I want to come down a grand staircase and really long billowing robes with like a lit candle. It's the user's parents eventually get pregnant with them and they are so excited. They're so happy to be bringing a new baby into this big, beautiful home. So naturally, they start preparing. They're buying the essentials, and they're baby-proofing the home, and they even built a really beautiful bassinet to put in the corner of their master bedroom. The day finally comes, and the new baby is brought home, and it fills the home with laugh and love and a ghost. See, the user writes that right after they were brought home from the hospital, that's when she started showing up. The user's mother remembers noticing her for the first time. She would set her sweet new baby down in that sweet little bassinet, and she would notice her baby cooing and giggling intently, almost as if playing with someone that wasn't there. She would oftentimes walk into the room after putting the baby down for a nap, only to see that the baby was still soundly sleeping in the bassinet that was rocking completely on its own. Listen, at that point, if it's keeping my baby happy and sleeping, we're in this together, girl. The ghost is none of my business, okay? We are in this together. They say it takes a village, so. The user's mother would eventually come face to face with what was keeping her baby so happy. And on 3 separate occasions, she saw the woman, clear as day, standing over her baby's bassinet in a pretty white dress. And the user's mother wasn't the only one who would catch glimpses of the woman in the white dress. Their father would say that he would actually watch her ascend and descend their spiral staircase, depending on whether she was going upstairs to get access to the bedrooms or going down to the floor level. Other times he would catch her presiding on an upper level balcony, almost as if watching over him do his mundane things like reading a book or watching TV. The user's sister even confirms seeing the woman in white. Soon after seeing the woman, the family would start hearing footsteps in their attic. And when their father would go up to investigate the commotion, as soon as he would flip the light on, everything would stop abruptly. Nothing would be out of place, and there was no sign of anyone ever having been up there, except for the times that he would go up there to find the light already on, waiting for him, as if somebody heard him coming and left in a hurry and forgot to switch the light back off. The user does go on to say that the woman in white never felt threatening. It never seemed to want to cause any sort of harm, so they just lived with her for the next 8 years until they decided that they wanted to move. Now, flash forward to the user's freshman year of high school. It's their first week and they're meeting new friends, and they end up striking a conversation in one of their classes with a classmate. Conversation's going really well, so it turns to the user trying to find out where in the town this classmate lives. And she goes on to describe that she lives in a really old house, but that it's beautiful. It's white, it has green shutters, and a beautiful white picket fence going all around the yard. The user almost can't believe what they're saying, so they ask, "Is there a plum tree in the yard?" The classmate kind of looks at them oddly and says, "Yeah, we have a plum tree." At this point, the user can't help themselves. It's like word vomit. They basically blurt out, "Have you seen her?" The classmate looks at them again and says, "The lady in the white dress?" "Yeah." Okay, listen, I love when a ghost story isn't inherently scary. Ghosts, as a whole, are pretty freaky. I don't know. I've always loved the stories where a ghost doesn't mean to cause any harm, okay? They're almost just in a place, maybe against their will, maybe because they want to be there. They're not trying to cause any harm. They're not actually trying to scare you. They're just kind of like a weird, spooky, transparent roommate.
Can we show them the older homestead?
Okay, yeah, let's go. As you know.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Was that you?
Yeah, that's on either side.
They went to both.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Fuck it. I'm posting my Todd lore. I saw 2 other girls' videos talking about him and their experiences with him, and then like so many girls in their comments saying similar things. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna talk. And I've been like, I wanted to make a story time about this when this first happened. This was earlier this year. I have about 100 followers, so nobody was gonna see it, but also I was scared too, and you'll see why at the end, why I was scared to talk about this. I'm still a little nervous too, but fuck it. And I'll also tag the other girls in the descriptions that y'all can go watch their videos too, because their stories are crazy as well. This story takes me about an hour to tell at least, so I've written things down, made some bullet points, and we're going to try and go through this quickly. So I'm probably going to leave a lot of details out, but just know that this was batshit crazy from start to end. Okay, so I'm not even going to talk about the pre-date phone call that we had, but that was fucking weird. I'm going to skip right to the date because we don't have time. Met up. He was acting kind of weird, like tweaking out a bit as if he was drunk or maybe just really nervous. I don't know. Something was off though. He was really rude to the waiter. Not really rude. He was rude to the waiter though, and that should have been red flag number 1. And it wasn't like blatantly like disrespectful, but he wouldn't make eye contact with him. He was very like one-word answers, just bad vibes with that. He talked about himself a lot, talked about school a lot, which is whatever. That's how I was asking the questions. That's just how we got the conversation started. First odd comment he made was that he said that he was friends with Odell Beckham Jr. and Saquon Barkley. I call bullshit. He said that he was like, I have a pair of Saquon's jeans. Actually, you would look really good in them because y'all have the same legs. That's an odd thing to say. He then was talking about my earrings, which actually I think were these same ones. He said, I like your earrings. They match the trunk. Or they match the wagon. That's what he said. He said, I like your earrings. They match the wagon. And that one's kind of funny. I got to give it to him. He kept saying that I was abandoning him. Like anytime I tried to leave throughout the night, he would accuse me of abandoning him. He'd be like, why are you abandoning me? Why are you abandoning me? Do you hate me? I was like, no, I'm just trying to go. And yes, I do kind of hate you at this point. I don't want to be around you. He vaped at the table and asked me if I vaped. I said no, but I used to for a really long time, but I just quit about a year ago. I'm giving him all the like tips and tricks that helped me start or stop vaping. And he's just sitting there quiet and he looks at me when I finish my whole little spiel and he goes, how often do you masturbate? Excuse me? Who asked that? I said, I'm not going to tell you and I'm going to pretend you didn't ask that question. He also said I might be a sex addict. Not me, him. He said that he might be one. Kind of adds up. He also talked about a lawsuit that he was involved in, which I'm not going to go into, but wasn't good. After all of this, I did still kiss him in the parking lot. He kept trying to get me to go back to his hotel room with him, and I kept saying no. And that's when he would accuse me of abandoning him. But I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get home to my cats. And also, you're kind of freaking me out a bit. But I still did end up kissing him in the parking lot. And as we were kissing, he stuck his hands down my pants, down the back of them, in the middle of the public parking lot, right in front of the Harris Teeter. So that's when I was like, all right, yeah, I'm not seeing this guy again. As if the previous red flags weren't enough, but I'm stupid. So anyways. Oh my God. He also, as we were saying goodbye, he says to me, and at this point, I had told him that I was going to I'd be willing to meet up with him the next day. I really wasn't, but I was just trying to get him to go away. But he looks at me, he says, and he goes, are we ever going to have sex? I'm like, brother, I just met you 3 hours ago. And I told him, I texted him before we went on this date because his phone call was giving different vibes. I said to him, if you're just looking to hook up, I'm not your girl, that's fine, no harm, no foul, but it's not going to be me. So he knew that, but I guess didn't believe it. But yeah, he said, are we ever going to have sex? So then this is where it gets weird, as if it wasn't weird enough already. He calls me when I get home. I'm thinking he was calling to make sure I got home okay because I told him I'd text him. Me thinking he's gonna be sweet. No, he calls me and asks for the $30 that I owe him for drinks. He was being weird about splitting, not paying for the bill at the end, which I'm very much in the mindset, he initiated the date. He's the man, he should pay. And he was also the one doing the most drinking. He ordered the most drinks, which is fine, but just whatever. So he wanted $30 for my 2 drinks that I had. And I told him, I was like, that's fucking rude and ridiculous, but yeah, you'll get your $30. We're not talking ever again. And he threw a fit. I hung up on him. He starts blowing up my phone with all these crazy ass texts, and he starts calling me again. And I finally answer. And he goes into this whole like boohoo sob story about why money is bad for him now and why he needs money and blah, blah, blah. It was a whole thing. And I was like, he was like, do you feel bad for me now? I said, no, not really, but I'll give you your $30, but don't talk to me again. And he goes, and I quote, okay, if you make a TikTok about me or any social media, I will fucking sue the fuck out of you. Do you understand? Are you kidding me? So that's why I'm scared of y'all, because I'm not trying to get sued. I can't afford that. I probably left so much. I know that I left so much out, but those were the highlights. The lowlights, but the highlights. Please don't sue me. I can't afford that. Please. And yeah, this happened in Raleigh. I know that people have talked about him in Charleston was the other 2 dates. This happened in Raleigh. So if you're in those 2 areas, just steer clear of the guy. Steer clear of him. Save yourself the trauma. Don't do it. Trust me. Because I haven't been on a date. This happened in January and I haven't been on a date since. So love that for me.
Called Fish Row. I went through Fish Row. Everybody got to go through Fish Row. And this where your homies get to find out if you there. Like, they come over there and be like, oh, where this from? Where this from? You wear different colors until they release you into the main yard. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So, bam. I'm already past Fish Row. I'm on the 3rd floor now. So, bam, a new bus come. And a new bus come, it was an OG that was like a few cells down from me on the third floor. He probably was like 4, 5, 6 cells down from me. He had a long-ass mother. He had a big-ass gray and black beard. Been down for like 38 years, fam. Did a murder in like 1970s. Killed 5 people in their house. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like on some brazy-ass shit. He said he went to go rob their house because they was selling sherm. You feel me? And shit, nigga, he said he just started hallucinating and killed everybody like some crazy-ass shit. And one day I'm walking down, it's about to be time for yard. And when I'm walking down the stairs, I see him right there, bro. He used to have like the big-ass bifocal with the little beady-ass eyes, bro, and the dirty-ass dreads. He was standing right there at the 2nd floor. And they was, cause they was about to be coming back from chow. You feel me? I'm going to the yard, the new fish, we call them new fish. They going back to their cell. And the OG that's on the 3rd floor standing on the 2nd floor. And I'm like, you good, OG? He like, yeah, I'm good. Just trying to see who gonna be my next Sally. I'm like, okay, I didn't think about it. You know, I'm young as I'm like, okay, cool, bam. I go to the yard, you feel me, a few days later, it's like a little youngster in this cell, probably like 20, 21, probably like 19 or 20 years old. And the nigga probably was like 120 pounds, you feel me? 120, 30 pounds, bro. And he was just like a little youngster and shit. And I remember I had stopped by the cell and I'm like, oh, you got you a new celly, huh? He like, yeah, hell yeah. Like just acting a little different, you feel me? Like sitting on this bunk, kind of like rocking and shit, rubbing his knees. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what's up, fam? You good? He like, yeah, I'm good. Like, he just sounded like a real nerd, bro. He didn't sound like, yeah, I'm good, my. He was just sounding like a little kid, like, you know, bro, a lot of was in there for like little weird shit, purse snatches and shit, you never know, you feel me? He was like, yeah, I'm good, man. And I was like, oh, okay, where you from, bro? He was like, oh, I'm from Sacramento. Like, he talked it real clear, bro. He was like a black and white mixed kid or something, you feel me? And I was like, all right, for sure. So I really didn't have no interest to talk to him. I'm trying to see if he gangbang or something. You feel me? I'm active and shit at the time, retarded. I'm like, oh, okay, for sure. Like, he's a nerd. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I look at shit at the time. Instead of, like, trying to conversate with him. And I'm like, all right, y'all be cool. The OG still rocking on the bed like that. While the youngster on the top bunk kind of, like, standing over him, kind of, like, making his bed, like, putting the sheet and shit on his bed. You feel me? OG still rocking like that. On me, bro, couple days go by, probably like 2 or 3 days go by, you feel me? I just see that the youngster be walking kind of slow, like, he walking slow behind everybody. I try to give him some advice, like, hey, man, keep up with the line, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? He like, all right, man, like, how you be doing this shit in here, man? I'm like, shit, bro, you just gotta do it, man. Come on, you feel me? Bam, we walking and shit. Bro, one time I'm about to go to the yard, bro. I'm really not even supposed to get out. My celly's a worker. So if he taking breaks from behind where they making license plates, he could take a little lunch break sometimes and they'll let him come pop the cell open. And when they be popping the cell, he be wanting his privacy time, you feel me? So he be like, nigga, go try to go outside, go to the yard or something. Bro, I already got my bag ready. Everybody quiet, everybody at work on this tier. This the working building, bro, 3 building, Old Folsom. They got walk out. Everybody gone on the tier. You can walk past and just see cells clean, nice and clean, empty, posters, pictures all on the wall. You can really be looking at people's shit while they gone. Bro, this time I'm walking out, on my way, about to get past the OG so you can hear, I'm like, what the? Bro, I look, OG got the from the back with the knife to his throat, and his ass is out. You can see that the kid ass is out. The kid face is facing me. He like this, with his eyes rolling in the back of his head and his hands like up like this. And the OG has got the knife and hit you can see this part of him and the knife to the youngster neck, and he pulling his hair like this from the back. Got him like this with the knife. And the kid like, Bro, I'm like, OG. He like, mind your business, youngster. I'm like, oh shit, nigga, I just got on, bro. I'm like, damn, OG in there and shit out that young, bro. Like, bro, nigga, I was scared. I'm at the stairs like, damn, bro, like, what the should a nigga do? I go to the yard, I tell the homies, bro, nigga, OG had a knife to the young, bro. OG with the bifocals, man. In there and shit out this young, bro. After the yard, you hear their alarm. I'm like, what the? The alarm don't stay on too long, and they normally wrap shit up. The shit stayed on probably like 10, 20 minutes. They let us up, told everybody go back to their building. Bro, I'm going back to my building. The OG with the bifocals, arrested, sitting down in the chair like this. Blood all over his shirt, blood all over his bifocals, all over his face, bro. I'm like, what the? They got him, nigga, in a...
What the fuck was that? Bro!
What's going on around you?
I don't know. I'm frozen. I am frozen.
Did the window
Sean.
break?
Want to hear something spooky? Grab a drink, settle in, get comfy, because I'm about to read you the comments from that 2019 post where parents shared all the creepy things that their children have said to them. The first one says, I work in pediatric ICU. It was pretty early in the morning, around 2 or 3 a.m., and I was checking on a 5-year-old at the end of the hall. He looked at me and goes, why are they all up past their bedtime? I said, what do you mean? It's just me, buddy. He said, all those kids behind you in the hall. I was alone in the doorway, and I nearly pissed myself. The next comment says, we live in a house with very steep stairs that leads to the lower level. They have always worried me, and one morning my daughter, who was about 3 at the time, woke up and asked me about the little girl living there. She told me that she had a sparkly dress but a funny head and neck because she fell down the stairs, and she cries all the time because she misses her mommy. There had actually been several deaths in our home because it was very old, and one of which was a little girl who fell down the stairs. The next one says, when I was 2, my parents bought a home from a couple who were moving because their son died from meningitis in the home. Naturally, no one wanted that room that he died in, so they gave it to me because I was 2 years old and too young to know any different. After a few months, my parents noticed that I was often talking to myself when I was alone in the room, which wasn't too odd because I was a toddler. But one day, my mom found me in there with a Scrabble set, and it was full of correctly spelled words. She asked me how I'd done that, and I told her, the boy showed me. This went on for months. Then one night she found me sitting on my window ledge with my shoes on, with about 20 feet between me and the ground. She panicked and said, what are you doing? And I said, the boy wants me to come outside and play, but he said I have to come this way, but I don't want to. Even after this, for some reason, they never sold the house, and I've lived there until I was 21 years old. It was always so creepy, especially after dark. The next commenter says, we lived in the same house from 1996 to 2011. There were 4 of us kids, but I don't remember moving in because I was too young. But my brother told me that when we first moved in, we had to continually scrub and clean the bathroom because it smelled like rot. My younger brother was born in 2001. When he was about 6 or 7, we heard him talking to himself in the bathroom. We asked him who he was talking to, and he said, the little girl, we have to help her. Her dad killed her, and he's coming back to find her. At the time, he was obsessed with watching horror movies with his older brother, so we just thought he was mimicking something from a movie. This did go on for a few months, but then it started to taper off. Then when he was about 10, it started up again. He would tell our mom, "I feel like he's coming back." And he would say, "The little girl's dad. He killed her and hid her body in our bathroom air vent. He's coming back to bury her body once the police stop looking for him." Months later, our entire neighborhood was on high alert because a man had kidnapped and killed a girl I went to school with. At night, we would hear super strange noises